Yo, Novatos, thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again, San Jose, California. We are looking at yet another comparison video, showcase the Lowrider ST against the Lowrider 117, of course. Both of these are great bikes. I've been a huge fan of the Lowrider S since 2016. I already have a video on this comparison. This is before the announcement. This was before the announcement or the dealer event of the Lowrider ST, the 117, of course. I predicted a lot of this stuff, and I mean, if you look at that video, I got everything pretty much, even the name of the Lowrider ST. I even nailed the name, the 117, the performance, everything about it except for probably the cruise control standard on the Lowrider ST. I think I nailed everything in my prediction. But you know what, now that we have the details, now that I've test ridden these bikes, except, you know, full disclosure, I have not had a chance to throw a leg over the Lowrider ST. I mean, they're tough to get by, and I haven't seen a demo day after the announcement. Of course, when I had my demo days, it was before the announcement of the Lowrider ST, so the demo truck did not have the FXLRST available for demo. So, of course, you guys know I'm a huge fan of this bike. I'm a fan of the FXRT fairing. Is that what? Yeah, I think so. It's basically the old school FXR fairing, the Sport Glide, of course, the original Sport Glide, not the soft tail one. Of course, it has that ugly mini bat wing fairing. It's hideous. I'm not a fan of it. It's ugly. This one, this fairing, you know, after seeing it in gray, gunship gray, I started liking it a little bit. You're able to see the lines, of course, the overall design. It's a little bit more apparent. In black, it just kind of blends all in. You don't really see those nice looking lines like you do on the gunship gray. So it's a good looking fairing, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, I haven't thrown a leg over this thing, but I'm pretty sure it outperforms the old FXRT fairing. And I don't know. I mean, it's just a preference thing. Do you like that old school FXRT? Or do you like this new FXLRST fairing? It's got little hints, you know, just looking at, of course, the air vents, the headlight, frame mounted fairing. It's got, you know, it's got a lot of that classic look. But anyways, man, this is a beautiful looking bike for $21,749. Man, that's a great deal. It's an amazing deal. If you're out there, a lot of, you know, people in the Facebook group, they're wondering, man, can I mount that fairing on my 2020, 2021? The answer is no. There might be an aftermarket. Maybe Bum King might have a bracket. Somebody might make a bracket for this thing. But if you're looking at this fairing, honestly, you're better off trading in for this bike. If you have a 2020, 21 or 2021, you're better off just trading in for this bike, because the cost of this fairing alone, it's north of $3,500. The parts, plus, of course, you got to paint it, and then you got to mount it, and then, of course, the aftermarket bracket. Who knows how much that's going to cost? So, man, for that amount of money, you're better off just trading in for this bike. If this is the look you're going for, if this is the fairing you want, this is the bike you want, then normally I never recommend trading in for a bike or anything like that, but considering, of course, the fairing, then the saddlebags, and then, of course, you get a 117, you get a better monoshock in this, and you have cruise control. There's people still waiting for cruise control. A lot of people in the Facebook group, they've been waiting for almost 2 years for the cruise control. This bike has it. So, man, $4,000 on the fairing, $3,500 on the saddlebags. Of course, the 117, the big air breather, and then the $300, the $300 on the cruise control. You know what? I mean, you add those numbers up, and it might just be worth. I mean, depending on how much you get the bike, of course, because the markups on this bike are out of this world. They are completely ludicrous, ridiculous. There's a lot of markups on this. A lot of, you know, there's a few members in the Facebook group that are sales guys for Harley-Davidson, and they've mentioned that they could easily get $35,000 out the door for this bike. Easily. People are buying them. man, where was I? I'm supposed to be comparing these bikes. Of course, they're pretty much the same bike. All right, they have the same suspension, inverted forks, dual disc brakes, ABS standard, 5-gallon tank, full fender, full beautiful fender, push rod, 117, and I mean everything. They're pretty much identical, but this, of course, you have the saddlebags, you have the fairing, and you have cruise control. So it's an overall great deal for, like I said, under $22,000, and that's only what, maybe a $4,000 difference. Plus, like I mentioned, you're getting about close to $8,000 worth of stuff, of add-ons, of saddlebags, fairing, and of course the cruise control. That's about $8,000. You're getting that at half off. Of course, people have been complaining about the uneven saddlebags. You know what? I think I'm okay with it. Even the Sport Glide, after looking at the Sport Glide, even they're slightly off. But maybe Harley might improve this. They might change this. Like I said, they have parts. I don't want to get into it. I already made a video on what they can do. It's on the channel, guys, if you guys want to look at it. But they have OEM parts. They have parts that they could potentially, change so they could give you a full right side saddlebag, and that might happen for next year. So who knows? Maybe you might want to wait for the 2023, or you might even want to wait for the Icon version of this bike, which we should be seeing soon. We should be seeing some kind of announcement before the year ends. So anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the differences based on, or the key differences based on Harley-Davidson's website, or Harley's website. Let's go ahead. Rider position, of course, upright. You have the same shock on both bikes, but because of the extra weight on the Lowrider ST, it might be slightly lower. So you're looking at 27 inches. Seat height for both of these bikes. Mid controls, of course. I love mid controls, especially on these bikes. They're slightly forward mids. So I mean, it's comfortable. I really like it. I enjoy my Lowrider S. I really like it. I've owned it for almost 3 years, going on 3 years soon, and I'm a huge fan. I mean, it's the best soft tail available. And I mean, you guys, if you guys been watching my channel, you guys know how much I believe the Lowrider S is the best bang for your buck. And for light touring, sport touring, the Lowrider ST is now the best, of course. Bang for your buck, considering you have blacked out components and you have a 117. When you're comparing that to other bikes, kind of like a road glider, a street glider, of course they have their benefits. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get off topic, but it's great. I mean, it's a great option. I like it. Yeah, I mean, I really like the bike. The overall build, it's perfect. Thank you, Harley. Going into the fairing, of course, you have the screen, which isn't, I mean, it isn't much of a wind protector. Of course, it's minimal, it's small, it's a SOA type of style. Of course, you guys already heard of that. But moving on over to the frame mounted one, this is a new design from Harley. This is engineered for max protection and style, of course. So I mean, there's so much you could do for style. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of compromise. If you guys see my Saddlemen Pro Series seat, the San Diego Customs Pro Series seat, of course, it's a really nice seat. It's comfortable, but is it the most comfortable available? Of course, it's not. But style-wise, I mean, there's got to be a little bit of compromise when it comes to style and comfort. Of course, there's other seats out there that are more comfortable than the Saddlemen Pro Series, but style-wise, on a soft tail, man, it looks good. And you have a backrest, driver backrest. I mean, that's what they call it, driver backrest on that seat. The seat looks great, and like I said, it looks amazing on these soft tail bikes. So moving on down, compromise fairing, of course. You also have saddlebags on the Lowrider ST. Like I said, these are by far my favorite. I think these are the best looking hard saddlebags that Harley has. And I mean, they're $3,000. They're, they have that Harley price tag, of course, and they're probably made in China. Just, something that a Facebook member was saying, anything that's injected molding or forged or whatever, most likely it's made in China. But like I said, it's a good looking bike. Other than that, I mean, anything huge and different, I'd probably say it'd be the weight. So let's look at the weight real quick. Let's see if we could find it. Yeah, here it is. Here's the weight difference. You're looking at, what is that? Is that 40 pounds? About 40 pounds. I'd say it's about 40 pounds. So that's that's one of the bigger differences. But I mean, 40 pounds is not that much. My leather pros, they weigh in at 20 pounds a piece. So I mean, yeah, that's already 40 pounds right there. Of course, my leather pros are made here in the United States. So enough rambling. Thanks for watching yet another video. You guys go ahead and leave your comments down below. Let me know which one's your favorite. Some people don't like it, the new style. A lot of people would rather have the FXRT fairing. And I'm just saying, if you want a frame mounted fairing and you just want more wind protection, then of course you can't go wrong with the aftermarket FXRT fairing. But if you're out there and you really like this new FXLRST fairing, then you would just have to trade in for it. And I believe even with renewing, I don't normally say this, but if you really like this bike, you want those saddlebags and you want that fairing, this is probably the one time I would say, you know what, just trade in for the bike and try to pay MSRP. Don't pay. I'd say don't pay $2,000 over MSRP. Then you're setting yourself up for some real financial troubles down the road. So, man, thanks for watching yet another video. Hit the like on the video. If this video helps you decide on which one you're looking at, of course, most people already have deposits on the FXLRST. Just don't pay over MSRP. Hold off. Let the hype die down. They're going to be producing these bikes for the next couple years. Don't worry about it, guys. Once again, outro. Don't believe everything you read. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.